At some point, for the sake of our children, the policies must take priority over the personalities. So because you have an issue with President Trump's tone, you're going to allow Biden and Harris to deny our underserved black and brown children school choice?
There has never been a bigger embrace of giving parents the opportunity to choose which school they want to send their children to and making their tax dollars portable to meet their decision, whether it be public or private or religious, any of those choices. Now, COVID-19 has heightened this issue because a lot of parents are teaching from home and they're becoming better acquainted than ever with what their kids are learning and what they're not being taught in school. So the Wall Street Journal wrote a very powerful piece on this today, and part of that piece says this: parents are also discovering the woke political bias that passes for education in too many schools. In Philadelphia, a public school teacher tweeted his concern that, quote, conservative parents listening in are my chief concern. School choice is the real civil rights issue of our time, and the GOP deserves credit for making it a marquee part of its 2020 agenda, goes on to write the Wall Street Journal editorial board. Joining me now, Jack Brewer, CEO of the Brewer Group and a former NFL player. Jack, always good to talk to you. Thank you for being here tonight. You know, great to be here. I wonder what you see changing in terms of how people look at school choice, particularly in the Black community, where a lot of children, you know, for decades have not really had any choice at all where they go to school.
Yeah, Martha, you know, I spend a lot of time in the public school system. I spend a lot of time with underserved kids in particular. And, you know, the sad thing about it is our public schools have just not been able to adequately keep up with the real issues that are facing the kids that go to school there. You look at underserved youth and you look at places, whether it's Detroit or Baltimore, you have reading proficiency levels for kids and math proficiency levels that are worse than third world countries.
Right.
And these school systems are spending $20,000 and $25,000 per year per kid.
That's right.
They're spending twice as much as it costs to go to private schools. This is a real issue that all Americans should stand up against. I mean, you start looking at it, you know, we have over 2 million dropouts in America every year, 2 million dropouts. Well, Martha, 71% of those dropouts are fatherless. So these public schools have just not been able to keep up with the fatherlessness crisis that we have going on in our country because they're so liberal and they try to be so forgiving to every segment of the population that they don't put discipline in these kids anymore. Your kid can't go to a public school and have real discipline. Everyone wins. You don't have anyone there that's bridging that gap for these fatherless babies. That is the real issue. And we have to take a stand. We have to allow these kids to go to religious institutions, allow these kids to go to charter schools and be able to get access to a quality education that every other country across the world gives to their children.
I think you make fantastic points. And, you know, all of these individuals work hard, they pay taxes, their tax dollars go to these public schools. And as you point out, some of these places spend $25,000 per student. So something's not right there because they're not getting a $25,000 education. And people say, oh, we need more money. You got to throw more money at the schools. But that's not true because some of these areas that are serving the children the least are spending the most per capita on these students. This is what Joe Biden said about school choice. Watch this.
If I'm president, Betsy DeVos's whole notion from charter schools to this are gone.
So he, you know, has said that it's gone, and his platform says that he is in favor of school choice, but he's not in favor of portability of dollars to private schools or religious schools. What do you say to that? And do you think the attitude on this is changing among people who watch all of this play out?
It is. Black moms in particular are listening to this, and they want their kids to get access to education. There's so many single moms that need that. The school is a place. I tell you, people think I'm crazy, Martha, but I'm calling to bring the paddle back to our schools. That's what we really need to do. We need to bring the paddle back, start bringing discipline back in our schools. And Joe Biden is a scary man, and America should be really hesitant to see what he's doing because for a person to come and stand against school choice, that's evil.
Well, I don't know if a lot of people would agree with you on the paddle idea, but I think that a lot of people would agree that that we do need to not be afraid to have discipline of some form in the schools. And I know that during the Obama administration, they really cut back a lot on suspending kids and all of that. That got cut way back on, and we did see it make a difference in terms of discipline in the schools. So always good to hear your opinion.
Martha,
Go ahead.
If they come to the schools where I spend time and mentor and teach, they'll ask for that paddle to come back. I tell you that.
We will see. Thanks for sharing your opinion tonight, Jack Brewer. Always good to see you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.